Good morning, everybody. Our topic this day is all about historical fiction. So, what is historical fiction? It is a vintage pocket watch dangles in front of a stack of antique leather-bound books, evoking a sense of timeless wisdom and the enduring journey through history and knowledge. Bringing the past to life has endless appeal to readers of all genres. So that is historical fiction, entails wisdom and enduring the journey of the history and the knowledge itself. Historical fiction is one of those subgenres of literature that takes many forms. Its most important feature, though, it's set in the past, with every element of the story conforming to the norms of the day. I have here another definition of historical fiction. Historical fiction is a story that takes readers to a time and place in the past. How far back in time does an author have to go for their work to be considered? Historical fiction. A good rule of thumb is a minimum of 50 years. The idea is to take readers out of the events of their lifetime. Most book lovers agree that historical fiction is the closest we'll get to the actual time travel. So what makes a historical novel believable? Its setting. Historical fiction is set in a real place during a culturally recognizable time. The details and the action in the story can be a mix of actual events and ones from the author's imagination as they fill in the gaps. Characters can be pure fiction or based on real people, but everything about them, their attitudes and the look, the way they speak and the problems they face should match the era. Of course, the key to an author getting all of this right is research. Research is very important for doing an historical fiction. Another thing is authors are also allowed artistic license, but the most satisfying works of historical fiction have been researched down to every cent button, turn of phrase and cloud in the sky. So those are an example of historical fiction. So I have here the origins of historical fiction. We can look to ancient literature for examples of authors putting their own spin on historical events. Herodotus, the Histories 440 BC, celebrates the improbable victory of the Greek military against the invading Persians a century earlier. The epic poem is considered a cornerstone of Greek and Persian history, as well as a literary masterpiece. Alright, these days, the events from the 1960s officially qualify as historical fiction. Dennis Johnson's Three of Smoke 2007 examines the psychological horrors of Vietnam through characters that they did and did not go to war. So there are a lot of types of an historical fiction. I will just discuss biographical, historical series and epics, and historical mysteries, historical romance, historical adventures, historical fantasy. So those are the types of historical fiction. Alright, let's have biographical historical fiction. Biographical historical fiction tells the fictionalized story of a real person's life. Follows the life of Henry James across Europe as he works and falls in love. This category also includes stories about the history of a specific group of people, like Charles Johnson's Middle Passage 1990, which details the terrors of the slave trade. So biographical historical, it talks about the person's information and other things.